everybody, Bob Smith from Smith Taekwondo and Pro Sport Kickboxing and private military contractor. And coming to you today on April 1st, 2016, talking about domestic violence. I put up a video about 6 weeks ago of this jackass in Kahalu, Hawaii, named Bobby Young Townsend, that doused his girlfriend in gasoline and set her on fire. And then at court, he actually tried to make the excuse that it was an accident and he was just playing with his lighter. Apparently, he had a soda cup with 3 inches of gasoline. I don't know why anybody measures 3 inches of gasoline, but he had a soda cup in the front of the van with 3 inches of gasoline in it. Got mad at his girlfriend, threw the gasoline on her, but that's as far as he wanted it to go. So he started flicking his lighter and set his girlfriend on fire. That's a worst case scenario. And there's a lot of guys out there that I know you beat your girlfriend's asses and makes you feel like a man, it makes you feel tough, and a lot of you guys that beat your wives and you feel like, hey, you know what, she had it coming. You don't know, it's none of your business. You're right, it's none of my business that you're a little bitch. None of my business that you have to psychologically try to torture the person that you're supposed to love the most in your life. That's none of my business. But what kind of a man does that make you? I had a pretty long and lucrative fighting career. Pretty successful. I've fought in everything from full contact to bare knuckle to point tournaments to Olympic style Taekwondo. And one of the most important things about that was me being able to test myself against someone who was my equal, not against a woman or a child, certainly not against a woman that I love. But you guys keep going, because I'm sure that makes you feel tough, especially when you justify it in your mind that, hey, she had it coming. Now, I get it, there's some women out there that they want to mouth off and throw their chest up in your face and they want to act like a man. But when it comes down to it, are they as strong as you are? Can they bench press what you can bench press? Can they punch the bag as hard as you can punch the bag? Well, if you're that bad, if you're such a badass, go to the boxing gym. Go to a kickboxing gym. Go to an MMA gym. Try that with somebody your own size or somebody a little bigger than you. See how that works out for you. Most of you guys probably have 50, 60 pounds on your girlfriend or your wife anyway. Some of you guys have up to 150 pounds on her. So go to an MMA gym and pick the biggest guy in the gym. Make sure that he has at least 100 pounds on you and probably a foot in reach. And then see if you can pull that same bullshit with him. Because you can't, and you know it. But that's okay, because you know what? She had it coming. And some of you guys, you know, the emotional abuse and the shit that you pull, the name calling, the threats, the intimidation, and I see it. The worst part is I have some of these guys that they want to have a relationship with me or some sort of a rapport with me, knowing that, not unknowing that I'm aware of what's going on. Whether I'm at work or my gym or whatever, a coworker is having the time of her life, enjoying her job, enjoying her work, and then she sees her boyfriend come in, and I see the change in her face like that. Her eyes fill with tears automatically. And she went from laughing to having such a good time to nearly having a breakdown in front of everybody. All of her peers. Because of the psychological effect that this asswipe has had on her from, I don't know, countless years of bullying. Some of the excuses that she would say afterwards. He doesn't really hit me that much anymore. I had it coming. It was my fault. I get in his face sometimes. all he really does is yell at me and scream at me. He's really a good father. I deserved it. I want him there around the kids. Really? This guy does this to you, but you want him around the kids? What kind of rational thought is that? As a mother, you're supposed to protect your kids. You want the kids to grow up, and that's the memories that they have of their dad? I know, because I got them. My dad would kick the shit out of us. I mean, literally kick. And I know if any of my family is watching this video, especially my siblings or cousins or nephews, nieces in Kentucky in that area, you don't like hearing that or don't want to hear it, but yeah, you did. And not only that, but after my parents died, my legal custodial guardian used to beat me so badly that to this day, if I smell a certain scent, it makes me panic. And you know what he used to say? Just like some of you chicken shits, you had it coming. This was your fault. You deserved it. You made me do it. Yeah, I was a teenage kid. And my legal custodial guardian used to have this badass Oldsmobile 442 or a Cutlass, 70 Cutlass, Hurst 4-speed, 350 big block, 4-barrel, beautiful car. I loved this car. And he picked me up at a friend's house one day just because he was mad and there were no cell phones back then, so he just showed up. As soon as he showed up, my heart began to race because I knew something was wrong. So I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and without warning, he hits me so hard in the face that he breaks my right cheekbone on the passenger window. So yeah, I've had skin cancer, that's the lower spot here, but the reason that my upper right cheekbone is offset is because of what he did to me. But you know what? I had it coming. I deserved it. I was a problem child. So to this day, I can smell him. And it's embarrassing because as a martial arts instructor, I work with all kinds of people. So if I get around somebody, maybe their hygiene is a certain way, less than consistent, or somebody who's a little overweight, or maybe it's their diet, I don't know. But if I smell a certain scent, it really messes with me. And you can say, Bob, why didn't you just do something about it? Because I was trapped. My legal custodial guardian had complete care over me. He controlled the money, he controlled where I could go, when I could go, and I couldn't do anything until I was old enough to join the Army. As a matter of fact, when I came home on my first leave, I was feeling good, man, like everybody does when they first get out of boot camp and AIT, or Navy calls it A school. Came home with my uniform on, wanted my family and my friends to see me, and went over to a neighbor's house. And this neighbor, she looked at me with my little uniform on, and my couple little buttons and medals, and my pants bloused in my boots, and I was feeling like a man for the first time in my life. And believe me, I've been actively involved in martial arts for quite a while, but that doesn't matter because I had no place to go. I mean, he would have gotten me in my sleep. He had to control me through that fear. And my neighbor gave me a kiss, told me how proud she was of me, and this is one of these older ladies that used to make me a cake on my birthday and all that stuff. So she looks at me, tells me how proud she is of me. She's so proud of me. And then she tells me in the same breath, I'm so glad that you got away because we used to hear you scream from that basement. Meaning screaming when I would be locked in my basement and beaten. Let that one soak in for a while. So you cocksuckers who think that you are justified in beating somebody, that you have the right to do that, you are wrong. You couldn't even begin to understand what it feels like. And that's the reason that I became a fighter. One, I had years and years of aggression that was built up in me that I was never able to get out. You know, my legal custodial guardian, he used to think that he was a badass because he would beat on me. And it wasn't because I couldn't defend myself. It's because there was nowhere I could go afterwards, because he controlled all the cards, like a lot of you chicken shit cowards do with your significant others. And then you're supposed to tell them that they're supposed to believe that you love them. Yeah, I said it. You're nothing but gutless cowards. So that's the reason I started fighting. I wanted to test myself and prove to myself that I was somebody that I could stand toe-to-toe with somebody that was my equal or better and dish it out as well as take it. And I've had the good fortune of training with some of the baddest men on the planet. Had the respect of the greatest kickboxer in the world, Dennis Alexio, who I'm very fortunate that my children grew up loving him and calling him uncle. As much as a brother as anyone I've ever had. But yeah, that's why I became a fighter, because I decided at a pretty young age that nobody was ever going to put their hands on me again, and if they did, it wasn't going to be easy. Now, I don't run around like a bunch of these punks today, and you think just because you're fighting or you're getting arrested, somehow that makes you cool. And the ladies that are watching you, oh my God, ladies, if you can't see that this is a domestic abuse, or even worse, a possible future domestic homicide, because these guys are going to kill you. Now, if these guys are watching, they're going to delete it. They're going to say, no, bae, no, bae, bae, bae. I love you, bae. I never do that to you. Hey, that last time I went crack you, babe. You know, you just make me so mad. You just had it coming. Bullshit. Be a man and walk away. There have been many times I've had to just get in my truck and drive. Just get in my truck and drive and just get out of the environment. Go to my gym, hit the bag, go spar with somebody. But it doesn't mean that you have to go beating on somebody. So think about that. Think about those cues. Think about those triggers. And then when you say that you love this person, ask yourself what kind of hell you put them through. And then how they can love you back. Do they love you, or are they just hopeless? Are they just locked into a situation that they can never get away from? You guys think that you have my respect? You don't. I realize what would happen if I hit somebody that was weaker than me or more fragile than I am. And sure, I get mad, just like everybody does. But I control it. It's not like I'm going to wind up and go beat my wife or my daughter, or even my son for that matter. You guys make me sick. You absolutely make me sick. Find a boxing gym or an MMA gym. Like I said, go try that with somebody who's 100 pounds bigger than you are. See how that turns out for you. This is Bob Smith. Blood makes you relatable, loyalty makes you family. Out.